lost my keys. My mom and I searched high and low, and they were gone. A few days later, I came home to my bed perfectly made. I was 14 and never made my bed before school, as I left at 7:10 a.m. The keys were laying on top, in the very middle of my bed. My mom had not done either thing. We don't know who did. I know it was not her, as my sister, who was a baby at the time, was out with my mom at appointments all day. We both left and arrived home together that day. My mom had to meet me at 2:30 p.m. to pick me up, as that's when I finished school. I heard my mom calling my grandma that evening, in tears, fearing someone had been in the house. This solidified it wasn't her, and we still do not know to this day. The house was always spooky. We've heard footsteps upstairs while we were downstairs constantly. I always felt as though I was being watched while I slept. Finally, things always seemed to move around. My mom swears she's seen my sister's toy trolley flip on its own. I was 15 to 16 years old at the time and was located in the smallest bedroom of our house. I had sleep paralysis every night. One night, I began to feel the duvet begin to lift up. It felt as if someone was getting into bed with me. One night, I had sleep paralysis. While that was happening, I saw an elderly woman at the side of my bed that I had never seen before. I can promise you on everything that I love, she said something along the lines of, "How is your grandma doing? I wish I could see her again." This was paraphrasing, but it was something like that. However, I didn't find it scary at all. I then described the woman I saw to my grandma, and it turns out it was my great-grandma, her mom, that passed away. I have never seen her before, and this had me shocked. I had a teddy bear that was stored in a wardrobe in my bedroom. One day, I came home from work to find it was on my bed. I lived alone, by the way. One time, I was playing with a bouncy ball. It was rainbow colored. I was at my dad's house, and it was a 2-story. My dad was known to have a spirit that followed him his whole life. Anyways, while I was playing with the ball, I looked at my garage door and heard something say my name. I went into the garage by myself and bounced the ball in there. After a bit of bouncing, I bounced it into the corner of the garage, which was pitch black. It bounced back at me with 2 times more force than when I threw it. Keep in mind, I barely bounced it. I then kept on playing with what I called a friend until later when my mother told me to quit playing with whatever it was. She soon after had to anoint the house. I still to this day experience extreme paranormal activity whenever I visit my dad's house. He has a new house, by the way. I was home alone with my 2 Great Danes. I had a very long hallway at the time, and something dragged the male dog down the hallway, and he started crying. The other one was barking at something. I didn't see anyone or anything, but I watched him try and run while his tail was being yanked. So when I was around the age of 2, I saw a man in my parents' room. He looked like my dad, however he had only 1 leg. I told my dad about this and he seemed to just freeze. This was because this man was my grandfather who passed away in 2002. This happened in 2016. My uncle passed away in Vietnam. My grandmother had a dream in real time of his passing. She watched it happen. She thought maybe this was because God had her present there with him in the end, so that his mom would be with him. So I've been driving for about 12 years, starting back in 2013. My very first year I spent driving long haul, which is coast to coast and all over the US. This particular day, my trip was taking me through western PA. I was low on hours and I needed to look for a place to shut down for the night. I wasn't going to make it to the truck stop I wanted and ended up having to stop at a rest area. I parked and went into the restroom just to freshen up a bit and wipe down before calling it a night. I get back into my truck, lock the doors, and pull the curtain and settle in. The type of curtain I had was the type that went across the windshield and windows, not the type that went behind the seats. I undressed and I laid down. It was about 2:30 to 3 a.m. when I got woke up by what sounded like a dog barking and snarling off in the distance. Now for context, this rest area was in a very dense wooded area, so I'm surrounded by woods. I pulled the curtain back and didn't really see much in the distance, so I laid back down. About 10 to 15 minutes later, I hear it again, but this time a bit louder. I pulled the curtain again, but this time I thought I could see a faint outline of something near the tree line. I flicked on my high beams to light up the trees, and I saw the outline of what looked like something sitting on all fours, but its eyes lit up like when your lights hit a deer. I closed the curtains again, convinced it was just some random stray dog, and I wasn't concerned. What happened next still haunts me. After I saw that outline from my headlights, I laid back down a second time. About 20 minutes later, I hear a banging, scratching, and snarling at my driver's side door, as if a bear is trying to tear it off its hinges. I jump out of my sleeper and pull the driver's side curtain back, and I can only describe what I saw as a woman-like creature with dirty, matted, long hair, foam at the mouth, and nails long enough that whatever it was took the paint off my door. It had a look in its eyes that still stayed with me all these years. I immediately turned my truck on and shifted through my gears faster than I ever had before and drove to the nearest truck stop. I was never able to go back to sleep that night and had a really hard time sleeping the following night. I still get goosebumps every time I tell this story.